Well, we want to give a special thank you to our guest from last week, Blake Jameson, artist extraordinaire. It was a bucket list moment for us. We're super happy he came on, answered all of our questions. He said no questions were off limits. So it was good to hear from him. Because of that, we appreciate his art a little bit more, and probably get more cards in our PCs because of that. Now, just a quick note on Blake. His brand of art was totally unique and then one of a kind, which also made it really cool. And he shared what he learned about himself and his journey, which was even better. And I loved hearing his story, and it kind of made me appreciate his art even more. His catchphrase, which was "Stay awesome," it's totally true. Just stay awesome. Keep humble. Keep doing what you're doing. And we hope that, if someone saw that show, that they would feel inspired to do something in their own right, whatever it may be. Either collecting cards or art cards or whatever may have you. Anyway, that brings us to another good point, which I'm going to let Kent take over and introduce our next guest.
So welcome, everybody, to episode number 24 in the books now. We are pleased to present to you tonight's guest. She's a card collector, like a lot of us, but not just any kind of sports cards. She PCs Mascot cards. And yes, there is one in particular that is her favorite. It's the San Diego Chicken. Yes, that chicken, that San Diego Chicken. Please welcome Anna Blanken to the show.
Hey, Anna.
Hi.
Hey, Anna.
Hey.
How are you
How's
tonight?
everybody doing? Doing good. How are you guys?
We're good.
Good. Doing good.
So, Kent, where was is this the first person from Tennessee we've had on?
I would say yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah! We've had other states, but you're
Yeah. She's representing.
Sweet.
So,
That's awesome.
so Anna, I got to ask you this question, and it's probably been asked of you about 1 million times already, but we're going to add to it for the sake of our audience and us. Why mascot cards?
They're awesome. Mascots are awesome, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like my inner kid, or maybe it's I don't know what it is about me. Maybe it's my hidden personality. A lot of people think that I'm really serious, and I'm really not. I'm really actually pretty goofy. I just love to go to games. Like, mascots are my favorite thing to see at games because they're so funny. They mess with people, and they're just super fun. And so I was like, what better thing to express in cards for myself for it to be a mascot? So it just fit me.
Now, did anyone besides yourself and your family when they were younger collect cards?
I didn't collect cards. I actually just started collecting about a little over a year ago, to sort of bond with my husband, because he's collected cards since he was a kid. But my grandmother actually collected cards, and she had drawers and drawers full of baseball cards and basketball cards and just all different kinds of cards. And she never, she wasn't like, she didn't sleeve them and anything like that. They were just literally just thrown in drawers in her house. And I would just go through and, just sort of play them like, playing cards. I didn't know what they were. But yeah, my grandmother, her name was Anna too. She collected all kinds of cards.
Now, you just mentioned that your husband collects cards. So what does your husband collect then?
He collects mostly anything Braves, the Atlanta Braves. But, we're huge University of Tennessee fans, obviously. I mean, I live in Tennessee. And so he collects, Tennessee players or Tennessee players that have gone pro. Peyton Manning is one of his huge PCs. James Stewart, who played for the University of Tennessee, became a Jaguar. So anything like that. Chipper Jones is his main Braves PC. But my daughter also collects cards. She's 4, and she loves Freddie Freeman. So it's just
no way.
The cool fact about Freddie Freeman is his mom is Canadian, so he actually played for Team Canada.
Yeah, I know. Before moving to Cali, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So he has an affinity for Canada. So we have a soft spot for Freddie Freeman. He's a fantastic.
Yeah. He's just Freddie was actually my favorite player, which rubbed off on my daughter. And so she's become the Freddie Freeman super extraordinaire. But I just thought he was a great guy. Love his family. I love Chelsea. I follow her on all social media. So I just think that they're just an inspirational family. So
there you go. Maybe we need to get Freddie Freeman and his family on this one day.
Yeah, that would be great.
One day. So Anna, what mascot card was first given to you, and what was your very own mascot card that you yourself pulled out of a pack?
So I actually was talking to my husband about this because I have a really awful memory. I mean, my memory is, I guess it's the two kids. I don't know. I have a terrible memory, but he reminded me very quickly that the first mascot card I was ever given was a blooper autographed card. And he gave it to me not too long after I decided I wanted to start collecting. I think it was like I can't remember. It was a gift for some holiday that we were celebrating, I think, and he gave it to me. As far as the first card that I've ever pulled, I actually started collecting right after opening day came out, the year that I started collecting. So I didn't actually open any boxes. And so I didn't actually pull a mascot on my own until this year when opening day came out. And I don't even remember which one it was that I pulled out. It was just like a base. But I don't even remember who it was or anything like that. But my husband, we do pack wars. So we'll buy a box or whatever, and then we'll split it. And he actually pulled the first mascot. I actually wasn't the one that pulled the first mascot. So I was a little bummed, but I got one the next pack, and it was okay.
Now, for those that don't know who Blooper is, can you share with the audience who Blooper and which mascot that represents?
Yeah, Blooper is I don't know if you can see any of my baubles back here. This is actually the card. Blooper is the Atlanta Braves mascot currently.
Wow, look at that signature. That's a cool signature.
Yeah, isn't that so neat? It looks like his face. But that was the first one that I was ever given. And that I was like, wait, there are mascot cards? And
Do we know if it's the same? Do we know if it's the same person all the time, or do they change every year?
I actually don't know if it is. Blooper's not been around that long. I think 2018 or 2019 was his first year. He's not been around too long. So I don't know if it's the same guy. I don't care if it's the same guy. It'll always be Blooper.
Really interesting, actually. Because I wonder, I went through my mind, I'm like, who signed it? I'm curious now. I want to know what to do. I think we're going to have to, is that a Panini card or a Topps card you have?
This is a Topps. It's from opening day. I think this is 2019. Yeah.
So we need to ask someone at Topps that question whenever we get to that point.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, don't ruin it for me. You don't have to tell me. I don't want to know if it wasn't the actual guy in the costume.
Okay, we won't go there. We'll leave it alone.
Yeah.
It's better left than missing.
It's all right. It's fine.
It's kind of like you never want to meet your heroes.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss.
Yes, true. Very true. Sorry, Kent, go ahead.
Actually, Amit, it's actually your round of questions.
Oh, really? Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, before we get to your round of questions, we should probably say hello to folks in the room. You want to do that, Amit, or you want me to do?
Totally cool. I'll do it. So, hey, Dennis. Dennis comes.
Hi.
Dennis comes to our show every week, and Dennis posted a card on Instagram, and I can't remember what it was, but he posted a mascot card on Instagram and plugged us. So, thank you very much, Dennis.
Yeah, sweet. I'll have to check it out.
So on Instagram, first of all, let's go over Instagram. You are very fond of many mascots. Ever since I've talked to you the last few days, I've been thinking of nothing but mascots. But you like one mascot in particular, and it's the San Diego Chicken. So, of all the mascots, I have to ask, what was it about the San Diego Chicken that made you want to collect him or her?
Okay, So it's a little random. It actually has nothing to do with baseball at all. But so I started collecting all these mascots. And then the Twitter hobby community is wonderful, and they sort of just embrace everyone. And so as soon as everybody was realizing that I was trying to collect these mascots, somebody sent my husband a picture of the, I want to say it was like one of these or something like that. Something, you know, one of his older cards. And said, does she want this? And I was like, there's a chicken? Because I own chickens, like actual chickens, hens for eggs. And I was like, well, yeah, I want a chicken. And so I started looking at all of the about Ted and all of his legal battles and stuff of how he tried to like fight to stay the chicken. And I don't know, the chicken just resonated with me, and he's hilarious. I don't know if you've ever seen any of his, you know, stunts or anything like that, but he's hilarious. And he's sort of like a phenomenon. Like he's not just MLB anymore. He went to like basketball games, and he went to basketball games, and he met the president, and he did all this, you know, he did all these crazy things. Like, what a career. I think he was the chicken for 40 something years. So, I mean, it was just his story, you know, it was there's a chicken card and I own chickens, so that would be really cool. And then it was the latching on to the person in the costume that really carried me through.
Did you say legal battles? What legal battles?
Yeah. Oh man. So he started with a radio show, and the radio show, and I might butcher this completely. Somehow the radio show got hooked up with the Padres, but then the radio show fired him, but he wanted to stay with the Padres, and so he had to like fight to stay in the chicken costume, and so he won that, but they had to change the costume. So so they changed the costume to, you know, what usually, you know, people know and love now, the, you know, traditional, you know, costume. And he got to stay with the Padres. But yeah, he had that legal battle. I mentioned he was at a basketball game. I think it might have been a Bulls game. I'm not sure. I think he like ran into a cheerleader or something. I'm not sure if that led to a suit or not. But yeah, he's had quite a hefty legal battle for all of those things. So
I think he never met the Philly Fanatic, I'm sure, or Gritty. I'm sure there's so Gritty is the NHL mascot for the Philadelphia Flyers, actually, and the Philly Fanatic is for the Phillies. What's with the state of Philadelphia? What's going on there?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's just weird. Anyway,
they're both talking about like, yeah, the whole lawsuit with the Philly Fanatic was crazy too.
That's crazy.
So who's been around longer, San Diego Chicken or the Philly Fanatic?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Ted, unfortunately, is no longer the San Diego Chicken. So I don't know. I would say if the Fanatic's not there, he's gonna catch up real quick.
Right.
So we're gonna say hi to Yannick, and Dennis is there. He said he showed the signed Ted. I cannot say that last name.
Giannoulis.
That was the card on Instagram, and I'm sure someone with the same relationship, last name, named Zach.
That's my husband.
Hello, Zach.
So we're going to have to look up the litigious nature of mascots, because I have heard of mascots beating up other mascots. I know there is a mascot get-together. I think in the NHL they have a mascot get-together. They probably have one in baseball. We'll need to find out.
I know they do have one in baseball, because I was very offended. Somebody shared a photo of all of the mascots together, and Blooper wasn't in it. And there were like 2 or 3 other ones, and I was like, "Where are these mascots? You can't have a mascot get together and not have all of them."
You know, it feels like it's a bit of a Simpsons skit. I don't know what it is. Like, I just have this theory in my head that you have like Conan O'Brien writing the screenplay or something for.
Probably.
Probably. Sorry, I went way off on a tangent there. I'll get back to my question.
No, it's okay.
So, in the past, you said you had knowledge about the San Diego chicken. You say you're pretty knowledgeable all things about the San Diego chicken. Besides the litigious nature of the San Diego chicken, what are some other cool facts about the chicken? I said the chicken word 5 times in less than a minute. So
some other cool facts about the chicken. I don't know. I think I've said pretty much all of my regular stints about the chicken. His legal battles. I still can't believe. I'm pretty sure the president that he met was Reagan.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he's maybe even done some like international tours, like for soldiers, I think. But yeah, Ted just seems like a super cool guy. I have unfortunately never met him, so I can't tell you. Like, it's one of those things. Do you really want to meet your heroes? But you really want to meet your heroes.
Yeah.
So maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Well, at the rate Tatis is going, I'm sure you're going to see him in the World Series.
Yeah.
Well, San Diego chicken with Tatis's hair would be really cool. Anyway, sorry, I went off on a tangent again.
Who cares?
So we know that. Well, I want to ask you the question, and I think we know the answer, but I want you to confirm: are you indeed not only just a super collector of San Diego chicken? Are you the super collector of San Diego chicken? And how many San Diego chicken cards do you own?
So I own 43 unique San Diego chicken cards.
Wow.
There are upwards of 80. However, I have about half of all of the cards that he's made. Unfortunately, a lot of them are low numbered cards. So you're talking like 25, out of 25s, out of 10s, a lot of printing plates. Unfortunately, I haven't even had the opportunity to buy one of those cards. Cannot be the only San Diego chicken super collector in the world because of how expensive some of these cards go for on eBay and Mercari and some other, selling platforms. I can't say that I'm the super collector because I try to keep my collection to baseball cards. So, if you were going to ask if anybody wanted a San Diego chicken card more than myself, probably not. I really want as many San Diego chicken cards as I can get. But I really do try to to keep it to cards because they are so expensive. So I was very fortunate to get a signed 8x10 photo that 3 people on Hobby Twitter bought for me. Oh. I do have a couple bobbleheads of the San Diego chicken and a couple of things en route that my husband bought for me off of eBay. But I can't say that I'm a super collector because I just keep it to baseball cards. So now if you ask me if I was the San Diego chicken baseball card super collector, I might be a contender, but I don't know if I can say that I'm the super collector.
Well, here's kind of what I consider the linchpin to determine if you're a super collector. Do you have a game-worn chicken jersey?
Jersey? No. Well, I guess that's part of his jersey.
That's close enough. That's close enough. You're now.
Yeah.
We're gonna award you the title of San Diego.
Oh, okay. There's actually a lot. Almost all of the ones that come out are relics or relic autos now. The past 3 years, there's just been, I think, 3 cards in each set for the San Diego chicken: a base, a relic, and then a relic auto. So, and I'm fortunate enough to have all of those from the last 3 years. So.
And you also have a rookie because he's new. So you have one of the rookie cards. So technically, you have a rookie card too.
So I don't have his true rookie card because, and I'm so stupid, one popped up on eBay a few months ago, and I didn't buy it because it was $50, and it's like a super rare card. So I don't know what was going through my head, but we were about to go on vacation. And I was like, well, we really need the money. So I didn't buy it. And it's like one of my absolute most regretted things is that I didn't buy it. The reason being is because his rookie card, the first card that he's ever been on, was for the radio station.
Oh.
And those are just really hard to find because he was fired. So, so now as far as like I think like his rookie card after his unhatching with the Padres, I've got those. But,
I love to use the word unhatching for his.
That's what they did. They like had him come out of an egg and everything. Yes, when they like brought him back after like as their mascot, they had an unhatching where they actually like brought him out of out of an egg.
This is shaping up to be one of my favorite shows already, and we're only 20 minutes. This is
good.
By the way, Dennis says that you can get through the mail autographs for this.
I know.
There is that.
I know. I don't know what I would say to him though. Excuse me, Mr. Giannalis. I love you. Can you please sign this card and this everything? Send him like 20 cards.
Cool. You'd make it really cool. You'd be like, TG, come here. We need to sign this.
We need to have a discussion. I need you to go look at my Twitter. Yeah. I need you to come to my house and look at my collection.
And I need a gamer. Although they probably were the same one.
For sure.
So it's kind of funny because Dennis answered this already, and you've already alluded to it. Ted, I can't say his last name. What is it again?
Giannoulis.
Giannoulis, the person at the San Diego Chicken. So that question is off the plate. And you have autograph cards of his, so we know we're good there. So we'll pass on that question. Kent, before I go off track again, can you take us back on track? Go back.
Sure. So when you talked about earlier that some of the San Diego Chicken cards are at a premium, like when you said premium, what price range are we talking about when they come out on eBay and stuff like that?
Some can go. I mean, nothing like an Acuna rookie or anything like that. But the majority of auto relics or relic cards that I've got typically go from anywhere to like $50 to $150.
Oh, they can actually get that high.
Yeah, they can get pretty expensive, especially the older ones. So the older you get, the more expensive it is. Sometimes you can catch them. This card actually is selling for, right now around $80. You might be able to get one cheaper. Somebody posted this thing for $30 on eBay, and I bought it right then. The guy had no reviews. I was super nervous about what I was going to get in the mail.
Yeah,
turns out it was an amazing buy, but they can, as far as that goes, they can get pretty expensive. The base of this card usually goes for at least 10, if not more. Sometimes you can get them cheaper. So
it's really interesting. Yeah. There's a set in Canada made by Upper Deck called the Montreal Centennial, and one of the harder autographs to get is the UP Mascot card. It's an actually autograph card. I had it. I sold it. Now, after watching your show today and talking to you, I'm immediately regretting anything I've done with that.
I have a base UP that somebody racked me, but no auto.
No, I'll have to buy back the auto. I know where one is. I'll have to pay through my house. So, sorry, Kent, go ahead there.
No, it's okay. So, Anna, that one you're just showing, is that numbered?
Yeah. So, all of the patches and the auto patches are numbered to 87. And I think that's true for every year. And
why 87?
The year that he came out.
Oh yeah. Oh, 87. That's an interesting number.
This is 83 though, so I don't know.
Oh, it's a really odd serial number to be numbered to 87.
I don't know. I don't think I ever thought of it that way. I don't know. We might have to do some digging there, see why it's always 87. But I'm pretty sure that's every year that he's that there's been one, except. There's printing plates and different foils that you can get that are numbered like 10s and 25s and things like that.
Your hubby says 86 is another one.
Well, this is 87.
So hubby's wrong.
There are problems on our show today.
And this says 83.
She has the proof, Zach. He has to prove. So I think
Please, don't make me come out there. He's somewhere out there. Don't make me come out there.
Going, this is so cool.
So, how many relic costume cards do you have in your PC of the San Diego Chicken right now?
I can see 2, and I know that I have at least 2 more in here, and I have one on the way from eBay. Let's see here. There's one. That's got.
Oh wow!
It looks like 8, but the blacks.
Oh, they're not anything. Oh,
no, they're just 6.
That's a nice fake out.
I have the auto relic of this on the way from eBay. There's one. That one's from 2018.
On the back of that card, does it say where the material is from?
I'm not entirely sure if this. Let's see here.
Does it say event worn used or anything like that?
It says that the costume comic has been performing at sporting events since the mid 1970s.
Oh, that answers our question, Ken. So we know now.
Yeah.
So 1970s. So 40 years? No, more than that. 50 years. Okay, we have to do some research.
This one doesn't.
Yeah, we're gonna figure this out. There's 3 or 4 questions that have come out of this show already, and we're not even a half hour old. That's going to require us to do some homework.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I was going to ask you next was that I'm hoping that Ted had more than one costume, because if they only have one costume, that's kind of all hot. That doesn't bode well.
Several as far as I know, because you have all of these. You've had patch cards like this since at least 2016. I think they had it in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and now 2020. But there's also a full San Diego Chicken costume in the Baseball Hall of Fame. So, so you can go there and you can see it. I have people tag me in photos where they go and see it, and it makes me super jealous.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know they had mascots in that Hall of Fame. I've learned. Okay.
I didn't either.
I've learned more things talking to you in under a half hour than I have in a lot of shows. No offense to any of our guests. I'm definitely fully engaged in this conversation. It's just it's a cool moment.
Yeah.
Now, Anna, would it be safe to say that to meet Ted would be one of your bucket list moments?
Absolutely. But then again, it goes back to do you really want to meet your heroes? But I really want to meet Ted. It would be even better if he was in costume.
But then how would you know if he was underneath there?
You know what? Does it really even matter?
It's one of those rare cases where what's inside doesn't matter.
Apparently.
Yeah. Ted is like, to be honest, see videos of what you assume is Ted, because it's a San Diego Chicken. It's supposed to be Ted.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. So maybe it does matter. But if you meet Ted, do you want it to be the man or the persona that he puts on once he steps in the costume? Because that's sort of what he said. He was like, I'm a different person when I'm in costume than I am in real life. So
imagine if the Philly fanatic was like this teetotaling guy that was harmless, and then he comes out and all his rage, and then you have like this. It's like acting, right? So it's like an actor and an actor.
You get to do whatever you want without people knowing who you are. Isn't that like the dream?
Yes.
So
because you want to act like a maniac in public without people knowing it's
and legally, right? Legally, because you don't want to go around with a mask terrorizing people on the street because you would get arrested. You're not going to get arrested.
Yeah, no, you don't want that to happen. No.
Although Halloween would be weird. Anyway, sorry, we went off topic again.
So, if you had the opportunity to meet Ted in person, what are the top 3 things you would ask him?
Oh God, I don't know. It's one of those things where maybe I would just freeze up. looking at like starry-eyed and like I don't know, it's weird to think of it that way, like to say you're really going to freak out over a guy in a costume. But I just I collect cardboard with the guy's signature on it, which is one of the most beautiful signatures I think I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's really
probably
nice.
one of the questions I would ask him. How did you get your signature to look so darn and so consistent on like every piece of memorabilia that the guy signs? Like sometimes it just looks like it's been printed, like, a stamp has been taken to it. That's probably one of the questions I would ask. Where did you learn your penmanship, bro? Because that's amazing.
I want to know if you're in character when they're doing the autograph.
Yeah. That would be even better. Like, I don't know if that would work with like the gloves and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I have to see. I'm having way too much fun with this. I've got to stop.
He's got like little tiny gloves on, so maybe it wouldn't be that bad. Like if you had a grip on it.
Or give you a really big pen.
Yeah, that would be even better.
Okay, so I think we've talked enough about the San Diego chicken for now. We'll get back to it later. But besides the San Diego chicken, you also collect other mascot cards from all different sports. Is that correct? Because initially for you, it started just with MLB mascots, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I just had a blonde moment. No offense to any blondes. I used to be a blonde. Just no offense. But I don't know if I had just a silly moment or I don't know what. But for some reason, when I started collecting, I was like, mascots will be really easy and not really that time consuming, not really that expensive because, you get the set and you're done. And then I realized that, okay, that's not the only set out there. You have foil and you have, I collect college sport mascots meal. I've got some NBA mascot cards. And it just sort of started to explode into this thing where people would message me and say, hey, I've got this mascot card from hockey, or I've got this mascot card from this. And again, hobby Twitter was amazing to me. A lot of people just sent me things, and I wouldn't even know what kind of sport it was for. I would just have to go and Google the mascot's name to figure out what it was for or where they were from. So I used to discriminate to MLB mascots, but I have since changed my ways.
You've diversified your collection.
Yes,
portfolio.
I have diversified myself.
Yes.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes,
For sure. So as you've been collecting and delving into the world of sports mascots, has there been a mascot that you discovered along your journey that is no longer around? Meaning, have they been retired or even worse, terminated?
Yeah. So I guess the most recent example would be the Philly Fanatic. The Philly Fanatic had this sort of legal battle in which the creators of the Philly Fanatic wouldn't renew their lease or something like that. I don't know what it was. It was something bizarre, but essentially the Phillies are about to lose the Philly Fanatic. And the Philly Fanatic has been around for a long time. And so I thought they had just lost them. So I actually incorrectly said that the Philly Fanatic was no longer in service on Beckett Laws when I did a show over there.
Mm-hmm.
And was very quickly reprimanded for that comment on Twitter. Somebody pointed out the error of my ways. He is still around, thank goodness. He does have a slightly different look. So thank goodness that the Philly Fanatic is still around. But that was definitely a shock to my system because, I'm pretty sure of all of the mascots that I have started to sort of go back through and figure out how many cards they have, the Philly Fanatic had a lot. Pretty sure he had the most that I could find, as far as what I needed to add to my collection. He's been around for a long time. So, and then I think somebody else had been around for a while too. Who was it? Let's see here. I don't know. Oh, Homer from the Braves. Duh. Was retired.
Sorry, who?
Homer.
Homer.
Homer,
The Atlanta Braves. He looked very
No,
very
not
much
not
like,
Bart Simpson's Homer. No, not that Homer.
no, like Homer Simpson. Homer, the Atlanta Braves Homer.
Oh my God. We're talking about this whole time. Told you this. I've gone offside. There you go. So
No, it's all right. It's all right. He looked like almost like Mr. and Mrs. Met. You know, his like head was a baseball. I'm not exactly sure why they retired him, but then along came Blooper, and I think Blooper's better anyway. So
Oh, there you go.
in fact,
Yeah.
Yuppie was a baseball mascot for the Expos.
yes,
The Expos went under, and I believe the story was Bob Gainey was the general manager of. Someone can correct me, but Bob Gainey was the general manager of the Montreal Canadiens and bought the rights to Yuppie and made him a Montreal Canadiens mascot. So that's the story behind
what
Montreal Canadiens hockey team. So Yuppie, the
hockey?
came over to the Canadiens as their mascot.
Oh,
It
you
might be
darn
the
Canadians.
first. We should find out, Kent, if that's actually one of the first legit transactions in the sport of mascotting, where people had to acquire services of a mascot for another use.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to spoil it for our audience, but there is a guest that I'm hoping to get on our show who could actually talk about Yuppie. But I'll leave that for hopefully another show where this guest that I'm trying to get for our show will come on and she can talk to us about Yuppie and the Expos.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Kent, they're going to skip over the one question we already addressed, which was the which mascots from other sports have been there on the longest. Unless you know of other ones. Do you know the longest one in the NFL?
Oh gosh, in the NFL, I don't know. The Bulls mascot has been around for a really long time. The Chicago Bulls mascot. I think his name is Benny.
I don't know why I can't think of for some reason I cannot think of the Bulls mascot. It's escaping me.
I think it's Benny I'm pretty sure it's Benny the Bull.
Well, now I have to Google it. So, Benny the Bull.
Test my knowledge.
Benny the Bull.
Chicago Bulls mascot. Is it him?
Yep, Benny the Bull.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, what's the Vols mascot?
Smokey.
Who?
Smokey.
Smokey.
He's a bloodhound. I know.
Oh.
My husband's about to come in here and beat me up. Don't do it. Don't do it. He's a blue tick. He's a blue tick.
Oh.
Blue tick hound. But he's an actual. So at the basketball games, it's actually a person in costume. I'm sure a student. But blue tick, yeah. I was afraid he was going to come in here and beat me up. Yeah, I was like, oh no, it's not down. But at football games, there is.
There you go. He corrected you. He said blue tick.
Yeah. At the football games, they have both an actual blue tick hound, a live animal, who's treated like royalty. Like he's very well taken care of. And then you actually have the person in costume. You actually also have a little Smokey, who's like supposed to be like a junior version of the big Smokey. He's really cute too.
Cool.
So, did you find out the information there? Were you going to look it up?
I was looking up Benny the Bull, and then I was looking up other ones, and I went Google crazy while I'm talking to you. How rude! So I'm going to stop there. Because now I'm actually looking up stuff, and I probably should have looked up as I was interviewing you the other night. But now I'm jazzed to find out. So we do know that Benny the Bull is the correct name for that. So we can go back to your questions, buddy.
My question? Okay. So Anna, as a parent of a young daughter, does she understand your love of collecting mascot cards? That's one question. And second question is, are there any that she doesn't like or is frightened by because of how they look?
So she is a collector. She saw mom and dad, getting mail and putting things in binders and putting things in boxes. And some people sent her some Braves cards, and then she just goes crazy for Freddie Freeman. So that's her PC, Freddie Freeman. She does also collect mascots.
Nice.
Because they are super fun. I mean, like I said, it was my inner kid. But I've not seen her get scared over one. Maybe Sasquatch. I don't know what basketball team it's for, but there's this there's this super awesome card of him like dunking, like he's flying through the air about to dunk. Super cool.
Oh, interesting.
That's the only one. Yeah, it's the only one that she's ever like looked at me kind of weird about. But it's so cute because she'll be flipping through her own binder of Freddie's, and then she'll get to the mascot page and she'll slam her hand down and she'll point to Blooper and she'll say, "That's Mommy's favorite player."
So the Seattle Supersonics had the mascot. Well, the Supersonics are no longer around, but that was the mascot for that.
Sasquatch.
Huh. Well, it's called Squatch.
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 Whatever.
By the way, does your daughter get scared of Santa?
Santa? She doesn't like to see him in person. Like, she likes to see him, she just doesn't want to be close to him. And I just think that that's a stranger thing. Like, we've taught her stranger danger. And so she's like, Santa will bring me gifts, but I don't want to be around him. So she actually has a Santa card that somebody sent her that's got, like, I think in his his toy sack, he's got like all kinds of sports collectibles and, baseball bat and stuff like that. So she actually has that card. She likes it very well. It's in her book. But no, she doesn't like to be around Santa. She also doesn't like to be around mascots.
Fair enough.
Yeah, she also doesn't like to be around mascots. So,
what's the psychology of it? I was wondering. You got me on another tangent, which is awesome in its own self. And I find it amazing to kind of see what the parallels are between collectors and daughters and sons and how they react, right? So
yeah.
We brought up this point earlier, but I just want to come back to it. So thanks, Kent, for rescuing me when I was gone off track and forgot what question I was on. So he set my path correct now. So we talked about hockey, and there was a mascot by the name of Gritty for Philadelphia Flyers, right? Which Kent has the card here. There are actually two versions of it. So I believe you have the Expo version. So we have our version.
Yeah, that's the Expo version, yeah.
We have our version of the National up here in Canada called the Toronto Sport Card Expo, sorry. And Upper Deck brought that card up and gave it out to people who came to the show. And so we have that card. I just sold mine, but he has that card. Would you believe it or not that he actually has an official rookie card that was made by Upper Deck called the Young Guns? So similar to like Topps and the cards you see that you collect have the rookie card logo. So the true rookie well, this is controversial too, but I'll say it anyways. The true rookie in our world is technically the Young Guns rookie card, which it's pretty much a staple or of the hobby from a hockey perspective, and it's about a $50 or $60 card, so it's not cheap. It's very high collected. So I can see how the affinity for collecting mascots translates to hockey as well. So
yeah, for sure.
So my favorite team has Carlton the Bear. That's the Leafs with our mascot. And what did Jays have? What again?
It was Ace.
Ace. He's a Blue Jay.
Yeah,
He's an actual Blue Jay.
I knew that part. I just didn't remember the name. If I didn't know what it was, I'd be in a lot of trouble.
Ace. They don't put his name on a lot of the baseball cards.
Oh, they don't?
He's one of the very few mascots that doesn't get his name. It just says mascot. It doesn't actually print his name.
Which is kind of weird to me.
We need to go ask. We need to ask
the Oakland A's, the Oakland Athletics. Stomper is their mascot. He also doesn't get a name. And I think the last team I think is the White Sox, Southpaw. His name isn't put on the card either. And I've always wondered that. I can't ever find an answer. I think it has to do with trademarking. Like I think maybe the name or something might be trademarked, and so they can't put it on there. But yeah, some of them are. Ace isn't named. He's just mascot.
Interesting.
I mean, they can't confuse it with Ace hardware stores or anything like that. I mean,
I guess.
Or I can think of other ones, but having mentioned that, how expensive the Gritty card is for the hockey collectors, around $50-ish, give or take. What are the top 3 most valuable mascot cards you own in your collection?
So I sort of hit on this earlier. I know that probably the most expensive card is this one, which I just got this year. Waited for it for a long time. This is just this one.
Blooper.
Yep, it's Blooper. It is an auto relic. I waited on this card to be posted on eBay for a year. I just couldn't find it anywhere. We got it, luckily, for much less than what the person was wanting for the card. But it's super, it's a super, I don't want to say super rare. It's considered like a short print. So it's not numbered or anything like that. But it was, one of the harder cards to pull out of that pack. And you very rarely see it. There's only been 2 posted on eBay the last year, which sounds like a lot, but I'd say that's probably the most valuable as far as like monetary.
What product did that one come out of?
This is 2019 opening day.
Oh, opening day. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Almost all the mascots come out of opening day. Then you have Donruss, who has the chicken cards. And then a lot of that's for baseball. You don't get any baseballs anywhere else. You don't get them out of Series 1, Series 2, any other releases. So opening day is when I go crazy. But then you have like Panini, who puts out contenders and things like that throughout the year. So I'm not completely stopped, but there are definitely buying times within my rotation.
Do you have team issued cards?
Team issued? What do you mean?
So, for example, like the team will issue its own card. They could be sponsored by like a hot dog company or something like that.
None of Mascot.
None of Mascot? Okay.
Interesting.
Awesome.
None of Mascot.
So you brought up Blooper before, so we're going to bring Blooper back into the fold here. You made a road trip with your family to go see an Atlanta Braves game, and it's one of the rare cases where you went to see the mascot more so than the game, I'm sure. So please tell the audience what that was like and your experience of meeting Blooper and taking pictures with him.
Yeah, so I consider myself a Blooper super fan. I can't say I'm a super collector. I do have almost all the cards ever printed of Blooper, though, so not many because he's only been around for a few years. But so I have a pretty good Twitter following, and the people who I follow on Twitter are very good about retweeting things. So I like to think it was my hobby Twitter family that helped me with this. But I tweeted a picture, wore Blooper's jersey that my husband had bought me to the game, tweeted a picture of me in the jersey, and I was like, this is the section and row that I'm sitting in. Please, I'm expecting you to come see me. And a lot of people were like making offers to Blooper, like, we'll donate money to the charity of Blooper's choice if you make this happen. And so it was like the 5th or 6th or something inning, I don't know, something like that. And here comes Blooper walking around, and he was, walking literally right in front of my section, and I was like, Twitter. And so it was one of those moments where it's like, should I go? And my husband was like, if you don't go down there, I'm gonna push you or something like that. And so here I go with my whole family, and he was taking pictures with some kids and stuff, and I was like, here I am, a grown woman, wanting a picture with this mascot, and it was just wonderful. He patted me on, we took our picture. He patted me on the back. I was super, I was just giddy I'm still giddy. I'm still so excited that happened.
I can hear it in your voice, which is what makes this even cooler.
It was awesome.
Your passion for what you do is infectious, and I appreciate your passion. And I'm smiling because I'm smiling vicariously through you because I can almost envision the moment that you're doing it as well.
Yeah, it was so cool. I mean, listen, life is too short to just, be angry. Just have some fun. And this is the way that I have a lot of my fun. So
you could call yourself a super Blooper fan. That kind of
yes, I really think that I am. Really, I think I am.
We have a couple of people just to say hi to. So Chad Shipper, thanks for joining us.
Hi.
Check us later. Thank you very much for doing that. And your husband is arguing with you on live TV. He said that you actually do have some minor league baseball mascots that are team.
Okay, there you go.
Remember, we're not going. It's all marital lists here, right? We're not.
Sure. He might have to sleep on the couch for correcting me. It'll be all right.
Sorry, where did we leave off? Oh, sorry. So we're talking about Blooper. Can't go ahead about the other questions.
Sure. So it's pretty well known that you are now known as the mascot card collector. trying to say that 3 times fast. What's it like for you meeting other collectors and at times having fellow collectors sending you Mascot cards?
Yeah, so I've only had the pleasure of interacting with, never met, or actually even, interacted very much with very many collectors who collect the same as me. Be super honest, it's mostly children who collect Mascot cards. Not many adults do it, and not many adults do it seriously. Like I don't want to say like I'm super serious about it, but like I'm very serious about completing my sets and making sure that my cards are put away. So other collectors of just anything is wonderful, and seeing their passion, because some people are just as passionate about collecting other people or teams or things like that as I am. And it brings them true joy. Like, it's not like some sort of venture to make money or anything like that. They're just super excited about it. And like I said, I've been really blessed with the people who I've met on Hobby Twitter. They've just been wonderful to me. And I can't thank all of my followers over there in Twitter's sphere for putting up with me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, when you went to Truist Park to see the Braves, did you get to see Beat the Freeze, and would you consider him a mascot? And there was also the Washington Nationals. They have that presidential race, I think, where they're running with hot dogs and stuff like that. Would you consider those as mascots, or more like just kind of gimmicky things?
Oh, see, I struggle with this so much because I have a Beat the Freeze card.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. So it says it's like Traditions or something like that, I think is what it's titled. Yeah, so here.
Oh, I didn't know they actually made one for Beat the Freeze. That's cool.
Yeah, that poor guy. That poor guy right there. I mean, he is hauling it. Still not going to win. But I never really thought of the Freeze as a mascot. But then again, I think of the Washington Nationals presidential race. I consider them mascots. And I was like, well, why is that? Because they're really not.
Right.
And then I was like, well, maybe it's a branding thing. Like, Beat the Freeze isn't for the team.
Mm-hmm.
It actually is sponsored by Racetrack, the gas station, and they have like a little, they're known for their slushies or something like that. So I don't know if maybe it's that. And then I was like, well, they also have the tool race. I don't know if you've ever seen that at Truist Park. They have the Home Depot tool race where they have like a bucket, a paintbrush, a hammer.
Really?
And maybe that's it or something like that race. And it's sponsored by Home Depot. And I was like, well, I consider them mascots because it's just something that you love to see when you see it at the ballpark. But they're sponsored. So I don't know. Maybe he is a mascot because Beat the Freeze. So I don't know.
You know what, Kent? You know how in the non-traditional sense, everyone argues about what the true rookie card is, definition is, what the true. Now we've stirred up a new one. What's the true definition of a mascot? And then are you going to be a completionist? There's a whole bunch of tangents we can go here. So, and it's funny because the reason I'm enjoying this so much, I went to a game with my wife to a Toronto Raptors game, and she enjoyed kind of the atmosphere and something I don't normally pay attention to. So I'm telling you, I promise you now, when I watch a game, I'm probably going to look up for the mascot and then see what that person or he or she are doing, right?
They're so fun.
Yeah,
They're
to be honest with
fun.
you, sure, yeah. To be honest with you, like even I would say out of the Toronto teams, I would say the Toronto Raptor is probably my favorite mascot because he's very interactive with the crowd and he does all kinds of crazy stunts.
Yeah,
that's what it's about.
I like UP because that's what I remember as a kid. I just remember UP. You have to look him up, but he was fun.
Well, yeah, I would agree with you too. It's not that I don't like UP, but we can't see UP unless we go to Montreal.
True. You got me there, buddy. You got me there. Sorry, I interrupted you, Kent. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, no worries. So Anna, I have to ask you this question. How does it feel for you to know that there is now more and more women collectors like yourself who are showcasing themselves as collectors and with it the power of empowerment and the positive change in the hobby that it brings?
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I think it's, at first I thought we were underrepresented in the hobby, and maybe we still are a little bit. But I know so many fantastic women who are in the hobby who are incredible women in their own right, but also very generous people, very sweet people, whether it be offering kind words or just building up. There are women out there who are just so knowledgeable in sports, and they're just offering that knowledge. And I'm glad that they're sort of being, I'm glad that they're being given space, or allowed by their male counterparts to participate in that. I am very grateful to not have to put up with any people who degrade any of the women who put their voice out there. I hope sincerely that nobody does degrade any woman who puts their voice out there in the sports world and in the sports collecting world. I haven't, thank goodness, seen any of that. So I think it's wonderful. We're just people who just like sports and baseball cards. So I'm glad that more women are showing that.
We actually hope that on a very serious note, even though we're having a lot of fun here, on a serious note, we hope that any person gets inspired by what you're doing and what you're collecting, and maybe they pick it up, or they reach out to you on Twitter and they develop their own passion. So what Kent and I want to do with this show is just inspire. So just you being here for the past 56 minutes, I definitely could say it's inspiring. It made me all jazzed, and I want to learn more about mascots and expand my hobby collection from that point of view. So I hope someone out there does that as well. So I appreciate you kind of giving a piece of yourself out there in the world, and I'm glad that you're still following, and I'm glad that you haven't had to deal with any of the blowback from rather unfortunate people. But Blake Jameson said this last week, haters are future friends. I believe that's what he said.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Blake's a wise guy. You do good to listen to him.
For sure. We have a comment here. I'm not sure. Kent, you might have to educate me this on here. So David G said, NJ Rules over here. Follow him on Instagram. Oh, he attacks Gritty every chance he gets. Okay, well, I'll have to check that out too.
It's I think that's a hockey mascot, I think
New Jersey. It must be New Jersey.
You'll have to tell us in the comments if you're still here, David. Tell us about him.
I'm learning a whole new side of mascots. Even people are commenting now. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So Anna, go ahead. So if you had to start over again, would you still stick with mascot cards, do you think?
Yeah, for sure. They fit me. Once you start to get in all these like super high dollar cards, and I don't know, mascots aren't really that competitive. I don't know, maybe it's that they're easy, they're fun. The base cards you can get for pretty cheap. Like, you don't have to go after super high dollar cards, even outside of mascots. But mascots just fit me. They're just me.
Because mascots rule, right?
Yeah, mascots are awesome. I'd be a mascot if I could, but I don't think anybody would pay me to step into a costume.
Oh, you don't know that.
Maybe I should go audition one day. We have a minor league team really close to us. Maybe I'll go audition one day.
You're pretty energetic, so I don't think you have to worry.
Yeah.
So David G confirmed that New Jersey Rules. He was talking about the.
Okay.
So that's a hockey reference. I love when we bring back hockey references, because that's my jam with hockey. So I'm glad that they're doing that for me. So we're about to ask you. So just before we end the show, and Kent's going to ask you the coolest question out of all of our shows. Actually, that we at the end of each show. I want to thank everyone for joined us to this to watch this show so far. We've learned a lot about mascots. It's been an awesome. I can't believe an hour had passed already. I smiled and I've laughed, and I know Kent has smiled and laughed this whole entire time.
Yeah. It's been a great time.
This was fun.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun with this. This is definitely going to be up there in my top 2 or 3 shows, just from a smile. I think I smiled the entire time. So there you go. So thank you for passing on your infectious wisdom of mascot collecting and just your infectious personality. So we're very happy to have you. So
Yeah, and just so that the audience knows, out of respect for Anna, and Anna is a mom after all, so we're going to try and keep it to an hour like we promised. So with the last question, and we asked this of all of our guests, what inspires you, Anna Blanken?
Yeah, so I thought a lot about this, and this fun show is about to get really serious, but
That's
it
all
is
right.
something that's very close to my heart. Don't jump because this is very important. I struggle very hard with mental health, with mental illness. People in my family, very friends very close to me have as well. I think what inspires me the most are those people that continually work towards better mental health, and for those people who strive to be a better person. We were actually watching America's Got Talent last night, and one of the contestants, she's fighting through cancer, and she said, "Life is too short." How did she say it? Life is too short, and for you to wait to be happy before things stop being hard. So things are going to be hard in life, and that's not an excuse for you to not be happy. And that just got to me. Like, I just started, like, as soon as she said it, I started bawling my eyes out. I was crying, tears streaming. I was holding my daughter, like she was asleep, and I was crying. My husband was like, "Do you need a tissue? Like, are you all right?" So all of those people out there who are struggling with mental illness, who maybe feel really down, do what it takes to get back up on your feet. I've been struggling over the last couple of weeks to sort of build myself back up to a healthy place. And I hope that everybody, if you're watching and you're struggling with it, reach out to somebody. Reach out to me. I'm on Twitter. It might take me a little while. I'm a mom and I work a full-time job, so it might take me a while. I'm on the East Coast too, so remember that. If I go blank between 11 p.m. and 8 a.m. But those people that that are continually working to better themselves and better their mental health, those are the people that inspire me.
that's such an awesome answer. We've had a guest before by the name of Ken Reed, who's a fairly big personality up here in Canada, our version of ESPN, so Sportsnet. He talked about his battles with mental health. I actually, I am more happy, and this is nothing to do with serious or sad moments. It's a gracious moment. So you took time out of your day to open yourself up about this thing, and I hope that, in of anything else, I want that to be the inspiring moment. So those of you out there, mental health is a big deal, but the COVID, what's happened to people over the past almost 1.5 years, since it's been a struggle and people have languished, and there's actually many articles about the languishing moments and how people have driven themselves into a bit of a corner. Please, do take the time, reach out to those who love you, those who are willing to help, and people like yourself that you offered your services on Twitter and whatnot. You're the ones that are inspiring. So please keep doing what you're doing and don't ever stop.
Yes, keep fighting. Fight, fight, fight.
Zach, you have a good wife there. So
that was probably his. All right, my daughter's asleep. Anna, get off the phone so I can put her in bed.
Thank you, Anna. So just hang out there. We're just going to end the show. Just say a quick bye to you, and then you can go on to doing your mom stuff. Cool?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for sticking around and watching tonight's show. Well, have a good night.